here. The Padres are coming off a nice win.
Oh, Padres come off 3 victories over the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, that was ugly ball to say the least. Pittsburgh self-destructed more than the Padres won these games. Pittsburgh's defense are terrible at first base. They're weak at third base. This young shortstop, O'Neill Cruz, is having a terrible defensive time. Padres had to burn up their bullpen. They went to the bullpen 15 times in 3 games. I mean, they are gassed because their starters aren't giving them good innings. And, of course, they also got hurt because of the rain out or the rain delay for Game 1 in Pittsburgh, where they had to take Dylan Cease out, and they could not send him back to the mound after he sat for 2.5 hours. So they're going into Miami to play another bad Miami Marlins team. But, man, they're wheezing right now there. But they are hitting the ball, and Manny Machado's plays on defense were just phenomenal. Ton of controversy in this series, a lot of bad calls. Those 2 managers looked like they ate a bad tuna fish sandwich every time they came out to home plate to confront those guys. So, I mean, the Padres are rolling. Padres are now, they have won 14 of their last 17. Wow. Only outdone by Arizona, which has won 14 of its last 16. And Arizona, of course, swept a doubleheader against Cleveland yesterday. So, dogfight, babe. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, but there is a huge dogfight for the wild card positions. So that's the Padres story. Is they fly from Pittsburgh to open the series against Miami, and then they're going to come home. Joe Musgrove will now likely pitch on Monday, and they'll just see if he can give him 30 pitches, 40 pitches, how deep he can go as he makes the first start since May, the aftermath of the bone spur in the elbow. So that's the latest with the Padres. A couple different questions, different dimensions here to talk about with Dodger baseball. I don't know if you saw the Freddie Freeman press conference. It was spectacular. I've seen some unbelievable press conferences, some very emotional press conferences. And he was open. He wept about the near death of his child. He talked about how hard it was, the uncertainty as his child went into total paralysis because of this virus infection that attacked his immune system. And they put the 3-year-old boy on ventilator, and he was on ventilator for, I think, almost 8 days. And through all the blood transfusions and everything else, the young man is home now, and he will make a recovery, but he does not have use of his legs yet. At one point, this virus went from his feet, where he couldn't move his feet, to his legs, to his hip, to his arms. He was not functional. It was unbelievably scary. And Freddie Freeman, he talked 7 minutes extensively, and he wept in the middle of it. It was unbelievably moving to sit there. And as a parent who's been through tough times with our kids, and you have with your kids, you're talking about your child in a near-death experience. I can't imagine being able to verbalize that. There was so much respect from the media. They had to ask questions, but so much respect in the tone of the questions. And then as he comes on the field for the first game against the Phillies, they would not let him bat. The fans stood up and gave him, I think it was about a 4 or 5 minute standing ovation.
Nice.
They would not let him get in the batter's box. And the umpire came out and tapped him on the shoulder. And the Phillies came out of their dugout and they tipped their hat. Just amazing for him to be able to come back to the game and play and get back to the level he was before this happened, and how hard this must have been, just the worst, absolute worst week of his life. So that story, the second story has to do with the demise of the Dodgers, and they've lost back-to-back games to the Phillies, and Dave Roberts, his team is just unraveling all around him. Umpires blew a terrible call at third base. The bullpen continues to set itself on fire. They don't know how far they can go with Clayton Kershaw. His last start was good, but the bullpen fell apart. Then Brusdar Graterol suffered a severe hamstring injury. 8 pitches in, had not pitched all season, been on the DL recovering from a shoulder issue. Came back and went down. He did not tear the hamstring, but it's called grade 3, which is the most severe hamstring. He may not pitch the rest of the season. So the Dodgers are in utter disarray. The other topic has to do with Padre ticket prices. They call it a minor ticket hike, only 3% this year. But the Padres have raised their ticket prices 50% over the last 4 years.
Mhm.
And they're drawing phenomenal crowds because the product on the field's good and the experience at Petco Park, the gas lamp, is just super. But how much higher can you go? How much more can you ask from your fans? Because it's just not ticket prices or food prices or hoodie and memorabilia prices. It's $40 parking ticket prices on top of the
Mhm.
ticket prices. So that's amazing. Third topic is the Angels. It's been a rugged season. Ron Washington has held that thing together. They have these nice little winning streaks, and then it gets away from them. They've got some cornerstone players that I think have established they can be stars on that team. Zach Neto, the shortstop, is a fine player. And Nolan Chanel, who's a first baseman leadoff hitter, has gotten better and better. And Logan Ohapi, the catcher's got power, though he's not hitting for average. We see flashes from the pitching staff. You say, yeah, they look like they got some guys, but then these guys regress. I don't know where they are with Reed Detmers. I don't know if they're going to get Patrick Sandoval back. So the Angels are only halfway up the hill trying to stay competitive. And I think just based on everything that's happened around the franchise as it relates to Arte Moreno's ownership, I don't know how the hell they're going to get free agents who want to come there because they're going to have budget space this year. But who wants to play in that environment in which the track record of the owner has been so shoddy for a group of years? So, John, I talk Padres, Dodgers, Angels. Go ahead, pick a few topics. Give me a response.
Okay. Well, first of all, the Padres series against the Pirates has been unbelievable. And
Bizarre.
I was just looking through Twitter, and I guess one of the Pirates announcers said these Padres are like cockroaches; they just won't go away. And then I was listening at the end of the game to Jesse Agler, and he's saying, "Yeah, the Padres break out the brooms to swab the deck, for the Pirates." And I thought that was clever. So I'm encouraged there. I mean, looking at these other stories, when you talk about Freddie Freeman, I can feel your emotion. I mean, you break up a bit on that.
Yes, I have. If you ever lost a child,
Yeah.
it's tough to bury a child. And I did.
Oh, you did?
And Freddie Freeman, what he went through, and for him to be able to enunciate it is just stunning to me. And he kept apologizing for not having composure. Hell, I was sitting in my living room almost weeping, watching it, understanding the emotion of what he was feeling. So kudos to him. And I'll tell you, Major League Baseball, I went on social media. You can't believe the volume of players and other teams that went on their own social media accounts and asked for prayers for Freddie Freeman. Amazing story.
It really is an amazing story. So, here we are, lots of love for the Dodgers, and this is a very unique circumstance. Ticket prices at Petco, the fans are going to keep showing up, so they're playing that game. Someone's got to pay Manny Machado. So, they're doing that. And then, the Angels, it's nice to see the young kids doing well. I like that, but I don't know what the future is for that team.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what the winter baseball meetings are going to be like for the Halos. I don't know who the general manager is going to be because Perry Manassian's in the final months of his contract. And if you make another change and it's another philosophy change in terms of what kind of player you want, how do you build the farm system, etc. Just chaos. Ron Washington's done a hell of a job sales pitching. I got friends at Sirius XM on the home plate baseball channel where I used to work on weekends, and they had Ron Washington on, and his sales pitch was phenomenal to the young players about only thing that counts today is today, not whether you went 0 for 4 or you're 1 for 11 or you made an error or my reliever can't get anybody out. The only thing that counts is you and what you're going to do today. And he's convinced these kids that next opportunity is the next thing I should be focused on. It's just a fascinating way that Washington has worked with the young guys, but he didn't have enough players. That's a big issue.
Well, that's good advice, isn't it? I mean, in life in general, just be present in the moment.
Okay. So